Hey everybody, Cinema Sickness here, and welcome to the Cinema Sickness Cinematic Media Library and Theater. Let's take a tour. Alright guys, here's the door to the library, the basement stairs, which are lined with some posters, but we're not in the library quite yet, although I do have some Star Wars hanging up out here. But alright guys, let's go in and see the library. So here it is, guys. The Cinema Sickness Cinematic Media Library and Theater. This is it. So like I said, I'm going to give you the grand tour now, show you where everything is, explain a little bit of everything to you. As you can see, this section of the library has been rebuilt. This is the section we had to redo the waterproofing. All these shelves had to come out. Every single one of them had to be taken down, taken apart. It was a huge mess over here. We had to dig up the floor again, redo the waterproofing, but we just had a huge rainstorm all of yesterday. It just torrential downpours all day long yesterday. It was crazy, flooding everywhere. A lot of my friends, neighbors and stuff had water in their basement. Not a single drop in mine. Everything held up. The new waterproofing, perfect. So that is great. As you can see, everything is looking great and back in order. This section here is no longer a mess, looking as it should. So anyway, let's get down to the actual tour. And I'll just start off by showing you all my media. So over here starts my DVDs. My DVDs start on wall number 1 here. It's the wall with the door. And the way my DVDs are set up are somewhat alphabetically, where all my numbers are together, A's are together, B's are together, C's are together, and so on and so forth. But within those sections, they're not alphabetized. So it is still pretty easy to find something. If I want to find American Wedding unrated, I just got to go, let's see, A's. Oh, there it is. It's not very difficult at all. So they start up there, and they basically just go across each row, and then on to the next one, and then the next one, and so on and so forth all the way across. And then we go on to wall number 2 of the DVDs. And they go all the way down there, and then up onto wall number 3 here. That goes all the way across, the longest wall in the library. And then finally, back here, onto wall number 4. And they actually do get cut off right here. This wall over here is something different, so they do end right there. And they end up all the way down here. This is, as you can see, Z right there, but then we do come over, and I do have DVD-Rs right here. I do separate my DVD-Rs from my DVDs, as I do feel they are a separate format. Now, as you can see, with all these spacer cards here, I do have all my titles separated with spacer cards. Let's see, let's find an easier one to pull out. Here's one over here. We'll pull out K. So this here is my little spacer card. You can buy these at Bags Unlimited. That's where I got them. Then I just got a label maker and printed out labels for them. See, DVD K, and all my media is labeled that way. I have every single one of my formats labeled that way. So again, guys, that is my DVDs. Now, some of you may be noticing a little bit of difference from the last time I showed you my video or my library. And that is, I have some things set up a little bit differently, where I've actually left some space. Like, for instance, here's numbers. There's some space there. And there's some space there. I actually left some space afterwards, where I put some titles facing outwards. Makes putting away things a little bit easier. Now, if I get something that starts with a number, just pop it in right there. And that's it. No moving stuff around. Makes my life a bit easier. Plus, I also like the way it looks. I kind of feel it has sort of a, like a rental store kind of look. So I really do enjoy that. I just think it looks very nice. So again, that's all my DVDs and my DVD-Rs. And then I guess we'll come over here and take a look at my Blu-rays. And my Blu-rays are what starts on this wall here. And they are the same way. Numbers start up there, and they just go across and down, and across and down. And I'll show you what these doors are in a little bit. This is something a little bit new. I've added a new light fixture over here. That's something that a lot of people tell me I need down here, so I put one in. And we continue on with my Blu-rays. And then you just go across and down. And then finally, they end up over here, and there's the end. But then down here, we do have my 3D Blu-rays. Again, all separated the same way. So that is my Blu-ray section. As you can see, not nearly as big as my DVD section, but still a decent size. Then over on this wall here, this is a little bit of just basically odds and ends, all sorts of weird stuff. We have my PVDs, my personal video discs for the Video Now player up there. Then we go into my UMDs, my Universal Media Discs for the Sony PSP. These are all movies, not games. Lots of those. Then we go into my HD DVDs, which starts here, and they go all across here. These are all separated the same way. And then HD DVDs end right there. Then we go into my VCDs, my video CDs. And they end down here, right there. And then we go into my Game Boy Advance videos. Not games, but videos. And then into my Video 8s. Oh, almost forgot. My CD-ROMs. I do have 2 actual CD-ROM videos. There's some Three Stooges shorts on that one. I only have 2 of those, but after that we go into my Video 8 tapes. And then into my film. We have 16mm, then we go into 8mm, and then we go into Super 8, which ends down here, and then finally into my DivX titles. So there you go. This shelf right here, basically just odds and ends. All kinds of miscellaneous stuff. I like having them all together. I think they look pretty nice. And then we'll go on to these shelves here. Up top, we have my cinematic trivia games. All sorts of trivia games that either have to do with movies or TV. See, there's Cheers, there's a TV, Trivial Pursuit Edition, a lot of Scenic games, love those. All kinds of fun stuff. Lord of the Rings, Disney, Warner Brothers, Nickelodeon, Friends, Wizard of Oz, South Park, Andy Griffith Show, Nick at Night, Family Guy, all kinds of great stuff. Some Simpsons up there. So these are all trivia games that relate to either TV or movies. I do like to collect them. They're a lot of fun to play. And it's always fun to test my knowledge. Then down here, we start my beta. And again, these are all separated the same way. A's, B's, C's, everything together. And all separated with these marker cards. And they start right there, and they go again across and down. And then they go onto this shelf right here. And all the way down to the end. So plenty of space for more beta tapes. Get some more of those eventually. Then on this shelf here, we have all my, as you can see, oversized packaging. This is all stuff that's just too big to fit on these shelves. This stuff is just way oversized, so they have their own little section. Everything's on here. Everything from Blu-rays to DVDs, VHS, beta. Here's Star Wars VCD sets. So all kinds of stuff on here. Disney treasure sets down there. A whole bunch of stuff. Even some Super 8 film there. So just all sorts of fancy packaging. That's just too big for the regular shelves. I've done actually a whole video on this shelf here. You can look that up. And then we move on to my VHS clamshells. Now these aren't all my VHS. These are just the clamshells. Again, separated the same way. They start here and just go across and down. And then they go onto these 2 shelves here. And the same way, all the way across and down. And once again, these are just my VHS clamshells. But my VHS do not end there. we actually have something new, and that is new shelves up in the rafters. I just built these. With the construction that was going on in this section over here, I decided to finally build these shelves. These were shelves that I initially had planned to build in the library back when I first built the library. Back when I was first just thinking about doing this library, what I had in mind was a wall that just went straight across here. And that's the way it actually was. When I originally started building it, I actually had a wall there. But then I decided, you know what, I'm going to take, instead of just taking half the basement, what the hell, I'm going to take all 3/4 of it. You know, leave 1/4 for my tools and whatnot, but I'll take the other 3/4, use all that for my library and theater. So I just took the wall down, extended the library over, and I no longer needed to build these shelves. It was kind of a waste. Building these shelves was just a waste of my time. I didn't really need the space, but it was always something I had in mind, always something I had thought about doing. So with all the construction going on, all the mess that was down here, I figured it was a perfect time to build these shelves as, again, there was already a mess down here. Why not just build them? And I decided to store all my VHS tapes up here. And they start right there with numbers. And they just go all the way across the entire ceiling. And then on to the next one. And the same thing, just all the way across. So as you can see, plenty of VHS tapes up there. Lots and lots and lots. I have them all on their side so I can see them a bit better. As you can see them quite easily. I get asked a lot of questions about this because I have been posting some pictures. A lot of people saying, how do I see them? Well, I look up. That's all I gotta do. I reach my head up, and there you go. There's Gigi, there's Gotcha, there's Go, there's Grease. I can see all that stuff. It's not difficult to see them. Just gotta raise my head. And they go all the way across all of these. You see they extend over here. And then they finally end right there with Z. So I don't have a lot more space left. I got this here, that there. This one here is actually closed off because of a beam. And then that back there. And then that's it. But there is some good news, and that is the fact that I can actually double up all my tapes. Up there, there's a whole more, you can double it. There's a whole space above each one of these tapes for another VHS tape. So I can stack VHS tapes. So once I get all that filled up, I can just come back over here and start going again. So really I have double the space. Everything you see here from my VHS tapes is actually double this. So that's awesome. Now another question I get asked about these is how do I reach them? Because as you can see, can't grab them. They're a bit high. Not a problem. One thing I have down here is a step stool. This here is something that I initially bought when I first built this because, as you can see up here, I can reach this. I can grab titles, not a problem, but it's a little bit of a pain in the butt when I want to put them away or when I'm moving stuff around. The step stool comes in handy because then I can just step up on it and reach this all a lot more simpler. It makes my life easier. Even though I don't technically need it, it does make my life a little bit easier. But now, with my VHS tapes up in the rafters, the shelf is great, or the step stool is great. All I gotta do is step up on it, and there you go, GG. So that's it. So a lot of people ask me, how do I get to them? Well, I just stand on my step stool and reach up. So that is all my VHS tapes. I have plenty of those, but that's not all my media. I've got one more thing to show you. Actually, you know what? 3 more things to show you. Right here. These here are all my CD soundtracks. Now, I only recently started collecting these in the past year or two, so my collection has been growing, but it's nothing huge yet. And I only collect soundtracks on CD, not vinyl or tape or anything, just CD. So that's that. And then on the other side here, we have laser discs, and they start there. Again, all separated the same way. I got these really large spacer cards there. And they all go the same way. There, all the way across, and then down to the next row. And then onto that row there. And then these are my CEDs, my capacitance electronic discs. And again, they start there, go all the way across, and down. And they also have spacer cards as well. So this is all my laser discs and CEDs. Alright, so from there I guess I'll show you some of my players. I have some actual film projectors up here. Everything from 8mm to Super 8 to 16mm. I don't really need all these, but I kind of like the way they look, so I don't really collect them, but for now, when I come across them for cheap, I kind of pick it up and display it, because I just think they look really neat. So not only are they functional, but they're really neat looking display pieces. Plan to get some more of these in the future, hopefully over the summer. And then onto my theater. As you can see, I have both a standard definition TV and a high definition TV. This year actually being a 3D HD TV. And the reason why I have both is because I personally feel that standard definition formats really should be watched on a standard definition TV. I think they look absolutely horrible on HD TV. They look good on a standard definition TV, which they were made to be played on. So that's why I have both. They're both a great size as well. A lot of people ask me, why didn't I go bigger with my HD TV? And that's because sitting here on my couch, my nice comfy couch, this looks gigantic sitting there. There's not much space in between the TV and the couch. Not a lot of space there. Had I gone any bigger, it would have been overkill. So before I got this, I did my research, I measured, I tested it all out, and this is the size I wanted to go with. So I think it looks great, and it's perfect for the area I have. And my standard definition TV is actually a pretty decent size too. So then down here, see that underneath here we have my rewinders. I have a Video 8 rewinder, a Beta rewinder, and a VHS rewinder. Gotta have a rewinder for all my tape formats. Then in here's accessories, things like composite and component cables, all my remotes. These here are 3D glasses, some more 3D glasses in here as well. So all sorts of goodies in there, just all my accessories I need. Then in there, that is my personal computer, my laptop, which I do use as another media device, because I usually just really only use it to play my my iTunes digital copies on, because I can hook it up to my TV and watch them through there. So that's really the reason why I bought that. And then down here we have my Video 8 player, which is really just a Video 8 camcorder, but it does have audio-video outputs. And this is great because Video 8 VCRs, crazy expensive. Video 8 camcorders, dirt cheap. You can get these anywhere. You find these at yard sales all the time, thrift stores, pawn shops. You can get these all over the place for dirt cheap, like $5 or less. They're extremely cheap. If you find one that has audio-video outputs, well, there you go. You have a VCR that hooks right up to your TV, and you're good to go. So then from there, we have my Game Boy Advance, which I actually do have a case for. And of course, I use my Game Boy Advance for my Game Boy Advance videos. Not for gaming. I don't use any of this stuff for gaming. I'm not a gamer. In here we have my PSP. Again, not for games, but for my UMD videos. And then we have my Video Now players. Show you those real quick. I got a bunch of Video Now players. I have an original. I have a Video Now Color FX, and I have a Video Now XP. So I still need to get... I want to get a Video Now Color, not a Color FX. I want to get one of those yet. And there's also a Play School one that I'd like to get as well. So hopefully I'll have all those someday. Not that I need all of them, but they look cool, so wouldn't mind getting all of them. So they're stored down there. And then over here, we have a 3D Blu-ray player, an HD DVD player, and my Super Blue player. This plays both Blu-rays and HD DVDs, and it's region-free, so I can play any region Blu-ray or DVD on there, which is really nice. Right now I have it to set up European Blu-rays and DVDs, so that's great. Then we have my video CD player. I do have a dedicated VCD player. And then down below there is my CED player. Then over here we have a region-free DVD player. Even though technically my Super Blue is region-free, this has to be set up. If you want to play a region, you have to go in, type some codes in, set it to what region you want. Whereas this right here, this is just good to go. You don't have to set anything up. Put any region DVD in there, it plays. And we have my Beta player. And then we have my VCR DVD combo player. And then below that, my Laserdisc player. So those are all my players. But then we also have up here, this here's a dock for my iPod. There's an iPod Classic, which only has, the only thing on here is my CD soundtracks. I specifically bought this just for my CD soundtracks. I do not have any other music on there whatsoever, so it's awesome. If I want to listen to my CD soundtracks, I can just pop this in, pick a title, or I can just put it on shuffle. It's great. So that's really it for my theater. A lot of people ask me, what's the back look like? It's not too messy, as you can see. Some cords back there, but nothing too crazy. And no, I do not have all my players hooked up at the same time. I don't do that. I just hooked up what I need hooked up at the time. Right now, I do have my Blu-ray player always hooked up, and I have my Super Blu-ray player always hooked up because if you unplug it, you have to reset settings. It's kind of annoying. So I have those hooked up at all times, but everything else, I just hook up as needed. That's the one wire I have running across that actually goes into an outlet behind the shelves. I do hopefully eventually plan to put some kind of covering over that. But if you've ever seen those little kind of like rubber mounds you can put over electrical cords to prevent people from tripping over them, I can't find them in any stores. I've gone to electronic stores, I've gone to office stores, I've gone to hardware stores. Nobody has them, so I'm going to have to order one of those. So eventually, I will have like a little rubber mound covering this, so it's not a tripping hazard. But really, nobody walks back here too often. Basically just me to grab a title every now and then. So that is the back. Not too messy. I try to keep all my cords tied up and together so nothing gets too confusing. And this is my nice comfy couch. Very comfortable. It sits 2 people, or I can lay down on it and enjoy my movies. And of course I have a pillow and a throw, because sometimes it gets a little chilly down here. Want a nice throw to keep me warm. And of course a pillow to lay my head down on. And they are all Cars themed. I definitely have a Cars theme going on down here. And then we have my custom built, this is great, custom built 80s horror table, all tiled. Look at that. Custom built for me. Really cool. And of course some coasters here, because you got to have some coasters. You don't want rings on your tiles. These are Sylvester coasters. Actually, it was a little bit difficult to find cinematic coasters. I was trying to find coasters with some sort of like movie or cinematic star in it. So a classic Looney Tunes short star works for me. So again, my table here, again, this was custom built, everything. The table and the tiles were all custom built. Usually, the company who does this usually doesn't custom build the tables. They usually just get tables from a store and then put the tiles on it for you. But I actually needed a weird size because it's an odd shape in here, and I wanted to go all the way across my couch. So I had needed an odd size, so they actually custom built it for me, which is really cool. And all these tiles I designed myself. I went online, picked out all the images I wanted, cropped them all in Photoshop, sent them the Photoshop files, and I even laid them out. I even sent a Photoshop file showing every placement of these tiles. I wanted it done exactly my way. And in the end, I think it paid off because it looks fantastic. So custom built 1980s horror table. Really cool. And like I said, I have a little bit of a Cars theme going on here because not only do I have the pillow and the throw, I also have a Cars light switch panel. And a Cars welcome mat down here. Lightning McQueen. So it ended up going this way. I actually ended up buying this. Thought it was really cool. Picked that up. And then I needed a welcome mat, and it just so happens that I happened to find a Cars one. That's the first one I came across, so I bought it. And then I needed a pillow, and I needed a throw, and I thought, well, I already got a little bit of a Cars theme going on. Why not get a Cars throw and a Cars pillow? So that's why I had the Cars theme going on. Wasn't planned, just sort of happened. So show you some other goodies. Then we have my theater room sign up there. And then my one and only full-size poster, which of course has to be a Spice World poster. What other poster would I have down here? And of course the MST3K crew there. Not that they would ever make fun of a classic like Spice World, but still. Then I have some display pieces I picked up from a closing Blockbuster. Got some horror there, which is really amusing because Red Dragon and Misery, not exactly the first thing to come to mind when I think of horror. I mean, yeah, they're horror titles, but yeah, I can think of much scarier titles to put on here. Blu-ray, and previously viewed movies to buy. So neat little cards. Then we have these holographic Disney cards. These were actually sent to me by a viewer. These are great. You can see they're Sort of holographic there. They changed. Pretty cool. Got a bunch down here. Some of them are really neat like this, like holiday classics that change into Muppets Christmas Carol. Pretty neat. So somebody sent them to me. I think these come in if you're a Disney movie, like the Disney movie program or something like that. They send you these. And one of my viewers sent these to me, and I just framed them. I think they look great. I got some cool bookends here. Some Warner Brothers Looney Tunes bookends. There's Bugs there with a Acme mousetrap, which Taz is reaching into. And then back here, got some more display pieces. We have my Wizard of Oz and Star Trek laser discs, which these are extras. I do already have. I have this exact Star Trek and Wizard of Oz laser discs in my collection, but these are extras I picked up and just grabbed them just so I could frame them. And then right here is my Santa Claus Conquers the Martian DVD. Now, I did already have this. A viewer sent this to me. I already have it on DVD. Didn't need another copy. The actual artwork, the case artwork looked horrible. It was just the most disgusting thing I've ever seen. But when I opened it up, I saw this beauty. That looks awesome. One of the greatest DVDs I've seen. I love that artwork. So as soon as I saw it and knew that I didn't actually need the DVD as I already do own the movie, I knew I had to just hang the DVD up because it looks so cool. And then we have some Ted here. Neat display piece and the one my viewers sent me. My old Blockbuster and Hollywood video cards. Unfortunately, I had like 5 other rental cards, but I never kept them because I didn't think I was going to need them. I never expected everybody to go out of business, and had I known that, I would have kept them, but these are the last 2 I had, so I kept those. And I got some more Blockbuster goodness here with the Everybody Deserves a Reward Blockbuster Rewards card. Oops. Let's see if I can get that to show up. Alright, I'm going to turn this light off, guys. There we go. So I got that from another closing Blockbuster. And one of my definite pride and joys is my DVD video sign. Got this from a closing border years ago. When they went out of business, my local one went out of business, and they said everything has to go, including all fixtures. I saw this bad boy hanging up really, really, really high on this wall in their movie, their movie section. I asked, "Is that for sale?" They said yes. They sold to me for I think for like $15, something like that, something really cheap. But it was amusing because, like I said, it was up super high. I thought somebody was going to go up and get it for me. Nope, they said, "There's a ladder over there." They handed me a knife and said, "Go at it." It was crazy. I definitely could have killed myself. I was as high up on the ladder as I could possibly be with a knife in my hand, trying to hack away at the wall to get this off, and I got it off, and it looks great. $15, very, very well spent. I love that sign. Another thing I want to show is people ask me a lot why I even have this outcrop here in the first place. And that's because of the way the house is built. Actually, on the other side of this outcrop here is it's a closet. Because you can kind of see right like here actually is the first floor of the house. It's kind of weird. The first floor sort of sits one level, and then you walk up 2 sets of stairs right here, and the same thing over on the other side in the kitchen, and then you're up in the kitchen, which is over on that side, and then this is the living room, dining room above us. So that's kind of the way it's set up. This is actually technically ground floor for the first floor on the other side of this wall. So a little weird, and that's why the outcrop is there, because, again, there's a closet there. Just the way the house is built, so that's why I have it like that. And again, there's technically 2 sets of stairs right there. That's why it pokes out a little bit there as well. And again, I did add a light here because it's a little dark over here, I guess. It never bothered me, but I've had friend after friend after friend come down here and say, "Boy, you should put a light under there." So after the 100th time of somebody saying that, I finally did. So now everybody can shut up. So there's that. Let's see some other things I got down here. My Tyler Mane signed photo. Pretty cool. A World War Z poster, a little mini poster there. And a campaign mini poster here. Got my Halloween H2O mouse pad, of course. And this here's my desk. I do have a PC set up down here. This is where I edit all my videos that I show you guys. We'll be editing this video. And of course it faces my TV so I can watch something while I edit videos. Nice big monitor here. This is actually a TV, not even a monitor. But I didn't need that. This is the TV that used to be up in my old library. And of course, when I moved down here, I wanted a much bigger one. And you got a little trash can. This is cool. I even have a cinematic trash can. The Muppet Show. Grab this from a flea market. Love this trash can. So cool. So everything down here has got to be cinema themed. So that is about it, guys. I do have these little display pieces up here. These are more key cards. If you go to a theater and you go to the ticket booth and you see all the times listed, these are little cards that they have up with the times. One of my viewers sent me a boatload of these. I have a whole stack of them upstairs. So I just picked some of my favorites and hung them up. And over here, we have my Keith Almany signed Blob VHS. You can see his signature right there. He's like one of the last surviving actors in The Blob. So, got that at the Blob Fest last year. Very cool. And again, guys, that is pretty much it. I do have a Blockbuster flag up here. Got this from another closing Blockbuster. Not the full size. This flag is actually huge. It's got a lot of writing on it. I think it says something about being open 365 days a year. But like I said, it was huge. So I just folded it up and hung it up there. And a lot of people ask me, did I used to work at a Blockbuster or some kind of movie store? And the answer to that is no. I've never worked at a movie store, and rental store, or just a store that sold movies like Best Buy, something like that. Never have done that. My collection is just stuff I've collected over the years from just stores. I never bought anybody else. Some people ask me that. With all the closings of Blockbusters and Hollywood Views and stuff, some people ask me, did I get my collection this big because I went and bought out one of their stores? No. I've been to many closings, but never to the point where I've ever bought out any stores or anything. That's ridiculous. So this is all just collecting from 2001. I've been collecting since 2001. So alright guys, again, that is it. That is my cinematic media library and theater. And there's all, again, the new Raptor shelves. Looking great. So glad I decided to finally build these. I think they look pretty cool. And you can clearly see all the titles. Not difficult. So alright guys, that is it. So like I always say, if you like this video, please give me a like. If you're not already subbed, please do. And if you're not, oh yes, Padme. Can't forget Padme. Love her. So if you're not already subbed, please do. And if you're not already over at cinemasickness.com, head on over there. Check it out. Plenty to see there. A lot more than just my videos. All kinds of stuff going on from not only me, but from Team Sickness as well. It's a great place. Definitely check it out. And while you're there, be sure to click on the shop tab and purchase yourself a Cinema Sickness sticker and or a Cinema Sickness button. I would certainly appreciate the support. So there you go, guys. That's it. Hope you enjoyed this tour. If you have any questions, definitely leave a comment. I'll see you later, guys. Bye. Oh, wait, guys. Hold on. One last thing. I did promise you to show you what are behind these 3 doors right here. Not a big deal. Not a huge part of the collection, but I know some of you were going to ask because the last video, a lot of you guys asked, so I figured I'll show you. And these little doors that I built are simply just to hide things like a spigot. Never use it, but if I ever need to get to it, it's always good to have access. And behind this one here, there's a little water meter. I don't know. I've never seen anybody even look at that or touch that. I don't even know what that's for. But I have access to it. And most importantly, this one right here. This door is the most important door. That is the main water shut-off for the entire house. So that is a very important thing to be able to get to. Because if I ever have anything in the house, a pipe burst or anything like that, I need to be able to turn that off to avoid flooding. So that is what is behind door number 1, 2, and 3. Again, not a big deal, but it's a question I get asked a ton. Pretty much everybody who comes down into the library, one of the first things they do when they walk over in this corner is go, what are the doors for? So that is what's behind there, guys. So anyway, that's it. Just want to quickly tell you that. So I'll see you later, guys. Bye.